Let's see what smart money was buying and selling in Q2 2025. And there are some unexpected moves. Now, the fact that some of the best investors in the world are buying a certain stock doesn't necessarily mean we should buy it, but it can be a great idea generator. We can see which moves we like and then analyze those companies, learn more about them and make our own independent decisions. But before we look at individual moves of investors like Warren Buffett, Howard Marks or Leelu, let's take a look at the big picture and find out what were the 10 most bought stocks by super investors in Q2 2025. Starting our countdown at number 10, we have Capital One Financial. 6 super investors picked up shares during the quarter at a reported price of $208. And this price is basically the price at the end of the quarter. Since then, the stock went up by about 3.6%. Moving up to number 9, Apple caught the attention of 7 super investors who bought it at $205. This one is doing really well, trading about 12.8% higher today. At number 8, we see Taiwan Semiconductor with 8 super investors jumping in at $219. The current price sits roughly 8.9% above where these smart money managers bought. The 7th most popular pick was Alphabet Class C shares. 9 super investors bought it at $175, and they are sitting pretty with gains of about 17.1%. Taking the 6th spot, Microsoft also attracted 9 super investors at $479. The stock has moved up approximately 9% since their purchase. At number 5, Meta Platforms, which was bought by 10 super investors at $729. They are currently enjoying gains of over 8.4%. The 4th most bought stock is Nvidia. 10 super investors bought its shares at $157, and the stock has surged 13.7% higher since then. Coming in 3rd, we have Alphabet's Class A shares with 12 super investors buying it at $175. This position has rewarded them with 17.1% gain. The runner-up is Amazon, which also attracted 12 super investors at $213. The e-commerce giant is trading 8.4% higher today. And taking the top step as the most bought stock last quarter is United Health Group. 13 super investors bought its shares at $333. And here's what makes this really interesting. As of today's recording, this stock is actually trading about 8% lower than when they bought. This could present a fascinating opportunity for us to follow in their footsteps. Now, let's dive deeper into some specific transactions that really caught my attention. For this, we'll head over to our Patreon page where you can find our stock rankings, but also you can access our Smart Money Portfolios section. This is where we have all the detailed information organized in one convenient place. So let's start with Bill Ackman. His portfolio value went up by $1.8 billion. He closed his Canadian Pacific investment and he added 20.8% to Alphabet Class A shares, and now this position makes up 6.8% of his portfolio. But if we also add Class C shares, we see that this investment makes up over 15% of the portfolio. Now there is also a new investment in Amazon, which currently makes up 9.3%, so that is a huge move. Now let's move to Carl Icahn. He closed his position in Dana Incorporated and Illumina Incorporated. He added 157% to Sentry Holdings and almost 10% to his own Icahn Enterprises. Chuck Akre made a lot of moves in Q2 2025. He closed Digital Bridge, sold 26.6% of CarMax, 64.7% of American Tower, and 27.4% of O'Reilly Automotive. He also added 19% to his Airbnb investment, which makes up 4.5% of his portfolio currently. David Rolfe was mainly selling in Q2 2025. He got rid of United Health Group, so he moved against most of other super investors. And also, he closed his position in Russell 1000 Growth ETF. On the other hand, he opened one new position in Zoetis, which makes up 3.6% of his portfolio currently, and made two meaningful sale transactions: 18.8% of Alphabet and 16.6% of Taiwan Semiconductor. David Tepper closed 5 positions last quarter. The biggest of them were Wine Resources, Las Vegas Sands, and Broadcom. Other meaningful transactions were the selling of 78.6% of Oracle and 82.1% of China Large Cap ETF. He also sold 54.2% of Pinduoduo, 25.4% of Alphabet, 27.3% of Meta, 21.7% of Vista Corporation, and 23.4% of Alibaba, which is still his biggest position. But he also made a lot of buy transactions. The big ones were 106% extra shares of Micron Technology and 279.6% of Taiwan Semiconductor. He also increased his Nvidia position by incredible 483% and his United Health Group investment by 1,300%, making it his second biggest position in the portfolio. If you would like to analyze all these portfolios and go through the history of every single investment, you can do it by becoming a Patreon of this channel, and you will get access to 4 different valuation calculators to value any kind of company, and finally you will get access to our Stock Ranking Pro, where you can find all the data about all the companies we ever analyzed on this channel. You can sort them, filter them, do whatever you want to find great investment ideas. The link to our Patreon page is in the description. Okay, let's get back to our super investors. Now, when we look at Francis Chu, we see that last quarter he added 360.3% to his Occidental Petroleum position. He also sold 50.4% of his Stellantis investment, so there is a big shift in the idea of where this portfolio should go. Guy Spear didn't make any changes last quarter, so he is still our master of doing nothing. Howard Marks closed a lot of positions in Q2 2025, including H World Group, JD, Petrobras, or Baidu. His biggest sale transactions were 23.4% of Cemex investment and 16.3% of Jared Motion position. And when it comes to buying, he added 25.5% to Barrick Mining Corporation and 58.5% to Ita Unibanco Holding. Leelu made just 2 transactions in Q2 2025. He opened a new position in Pinduoduo and straight away it makes up 17.9% of the portfolio. He also sold 24.7% of Bank of America investment, but it remains his biggest position. Michael Burry, as always, made a lot of changes to his portfolio. His new positions are United Health Group, Mercado Libre, Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, Bruker Corporation, and Lululemon. Monish Pabrai was only buying in Q2 2025. There is one new stock, AutoNation, and it makes up 4.46% of his portfolio. Also, he added 11% to Alpha Metallurgical Resources, 32% to Valaris, and 0.01% to Warrior Met Coal, which makes up 30.3% of his portfolio and is his biggest US position at the moment. Norbert Louu made some interesting buy transactions in Q2 2025. He added 35.3% to Pinduoduo and he opened 2 new positions. PayPal, which makes up 15.6%, and Crocs, which makes up 17.3% of his portfolio. He also sold 70.7% of Smith & Wesson. Seth Klarman closed 3 positions last quarter. The biggest one was Solventum Corporation. He also sold 23% of GDS Holdings, 9.8% of Viasat, and 25.7% of Eagle Materials. Also, we see he trimmed his Willis Towers Watson position by 13.9%. When it comes to buying, we see a meaningful new position in Fiserv Incorporated. It makes up 3.7% of the portfolio. He also added 150% to Elevance Health, 26.7% to Dollar General, 42% to CRH, and 26.8% to Alphabet, which now is his biggest position in the portfolio. Terry Smith closed 2 positions in Q2 2025, Brown-Forman Corporation and Equifax. He also sold 16% of Philip Morris position, 7.7% of Stryker, 8% of Microsoft, and 8.1% of Meta, which remains his biggest position. The only meaningful buy transactions were adding 102% to Intuit and 13.3% to Zoetis, which makes up almost 2% of the portfolio. In Q2 2025, Warren Buffett closed his T-Mobile position worth over $1 billion. He opened a new position in United Health Group and added 2.9% to Chevron. He also trimmed his Bank of America position by 4.2% and his Apple position by 6.7%. But even after all this selling in the recent quarters, Apple remains his biggest position, worth around $57 billion. So these were the most important moves by smart money in Q2 2025. And if you would like to dig much deeper into their portfolios, then here you can find some portfolio analysis that may interest you. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.